Hey guys, Jonathan here from Trionic 7, and this might be a familiar sight to you, because this is Laxen, my 2002 Saab 9.5 Aero. This was my first car, but it broke down about 2 months ago. Now you saw my emotional farewell to this car not very long ago, but the new owner was actually able to fix the problem, and here we are. The reason I had to sell the car was that the engine failed and we had no oil pressure and the oil pressure warning light came on. We did some basic troubleshooting at the garage but couldn't find a solution that wasn't inside the engine. So the new owner pulled Laxen back on his flatbed trailer and pulled out the engine. And after opening up the timing chain cover, he quickly found the problem. And it is a lesson that we can take from this car, not to be too cheap. You see, back in 2015 I realized I have to change the timing chains and the balance chains on this car. The reason is that the timing chain tension was out 17.5 millimeters. If it is above 15, you need to change it, and the maximum for the chain tensioner before it runs in the bottom is 19. So at 17.5, well, the engine still sounded good, no rattles or anything, but I realized I needed to do the change. So I shopped around some different places, some garages and some specialists looked at it and gave me some quotes, but I figured there are many people in Sweden who know how to work with Saabs, and probably I can save some money by doing it at some of these gurus. Well, I shouldn't have. While I saved a lot of money on the labor and the materials for not going to the specialist, I paid dearly afterwards, including having the engine fail. So take a look at this picture that the new owner sent me from the rebuild of the engine. This is the sprocket that goes on the balance chain to the balance axle, and it's the counterweight that rotates twice the speed of the engine to keep secondary vibrations under control. And if you don't tension them enough, and if you don't use Loctite, which wasn't used, these can get loose. So you see that the sprockets have failed, they have unwinded from the balance axle and they have eaten into the engine block. And then the balance axle, or I should say the balancing shaft, went away from its bearings, and then the oil pressure failed. This wasn't the only trouble. Remember back in 2015 I made a video about how the bolts on the power steering pump came loose and the bolt went straight into the pulley, which made a horrible noise. Just look at this. Okay, stop. In addition, when putting back the timing chain cover, he squished the head gasket away, which resulted in oil leaks. The car was leaking oil slowly, well, ever since the repair was made, and so forth and so forth. So my first car, this car that you've seen on the channel so much, I had to part with it because of my being cheap. But the new owner of this car came round to my place. He wanted to show me the car, he wanted to show me the engine that he's been rebuilding with all new seals. Everything's been taken apart and cleaned and put back together with great care. Now, something I had no idea about was that the turbo was failing. Shaft could be moved about 5 millimeters, which is way too much. I mean, this is an Aero. It has a TD04 Mitsubishi turbo, which is supposed to be very shockproof, but apparently it failed here, and well, I'm sorry, I didn't know about this, honestly. So it's also been replacing the turbo. It now sports a Mitsubishi 19T turbo instead of the 15T, still a TD04. So we're gonna put in a new software that maps this car to the 19T turbo, which will make it go even faster. So what a sight to behold. We have Laxen, and then we have its successor, the Phoenix. Yes, it is dirty. I've driven it back and forth on the highway. Don't mind me. And the parking, yes, we know, you know. So check this out. They put on the Griffin wheels. We have the blinkers that I put on in I think it was November. Headlights have been polished, has the nice laser red paint that we all love. The badge I put on in August. And here is the engine. So looking closer, you won't see very much difference because this is roughly what the engine looked like before. But we have a new valve cover with a new paint that the new owner had lying around. If you look down, you can see the new turbo. It's nice, shiny looking. It is not an original Mitsubishi brand turbo, but it's a Chinese copy. So the engine was completely taken apart. The cylinder heads were cleaned. You can see it's sparkling, brand new down there. So let's take a quick walk around here. You can probably see the new brake rotors with brake pads and everything new. You can see the rear wheels have those brake parts that I showed in my Laxen brake project video with the slotted brakes from Speed Parts. The old ones were almost completely gone, as you remember. So Laxen brake project is going to continue, but I'm not gonna sure if it's gonna be called Laxen brake project or something, but I'm putting on some new brake parts on my other Saab instead. I have some parts lying around that I haven't showed you yet, so stay in touch for those. It's a beautiful sunny day today. You can see the exhaust tip from Farida has been polished up also. I mean, the new owner is just amazing. He knows so much more about engines and cars than I do, and he made everything sound so easy. Taking the engine out, pulling the engine apart, taking the cylinder heads off, cleaning up those new cylinder head gaskets, new gaskets for everything, new turbo. It's like, yeah, just another day at work, you know. Again, the beige leather seats. I think this color matches the red paint job so well. And this is also one of the reasons we fell in love with Laxen and purchased it back in 2014. So back in the cockpit, I think it's time for a test start. It does feel a little strange being back in your old car and not actually owning it anymore. But let's give it a start. And fire it up. Super quiet. Really silky, smooth engine noise now, not the same sort of grindy noise we had at cold startups sometimes. Taking a look at the odometer, we have 266,113 kilometers. Let's go outside. Now that's a quiet engine noise if I've heard any. The old timing chain is still on, that was in good condition, but the balance chain and the balance sprockets have obviously been replaced after that mishap. And this is the aftermarket exhaust I put on. This car has a 3-inch downpipe with a race catalyst and a Farida catback 2.5 inches. And these mufflers are made to give a nice roaring sound. I have a link to another video that I made before that really shows the exhaust note of this car. Again, parking sensors working beautifully. Tow hook might be a bit odd on this car, but it makes the car very practical. I mean, it's an Aero, it has a big turbo, lots of power, but still boot space, and the tow hook makes it practical. Now, I'm really happy to see that this car is back in action. It was a bit emotional to see my car, like my project, my prestige, my YouTube channel was failing in front of me when the car had its problem and the engine failure. But the new owner is a real good guy, and he put the car back, and I think he's gonna sell it. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna put some comment down in the video description for you if you want to see more. He's actually purchased another new car, a new generation 9.5 in silver. So it might be that Laxen is for sale soon, but I'll have to get back to you on this. Right, so we say goodbye to Laxen for this time. I hope to see you soon again. I'm probably helping the new owner to remap the turbo on a later date, but for now we didn't have the drivers on our Windows 10 laptop, and it takes a few minutes to do the reinstall. It's a bit of a mess. We didn't have the time for this right now, but we'll do that later. The car will still run on a 19T turbo even if the software is mapped for the 15T, But it's fine, and we'll get that done soon again. But for now, thank you very much for watching Trionic 7. I'll be uploading more videos about my 2009 Saab 9.5 Griffin, what we call Phoenix, and Anna's 2006 Saab 9.5 Vector, the Pearl. I'm happy that I still have this car left and that I'm alive. You remember the video from Thursday when I was almost in a collision on the highway with a stupid Suebus who almost sideswiped me. I got away with just a scare. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon again. Bye bye.